Hi, this is Mikayla with TechWise Academy. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're going to be going over one of our favorite coding platforms, which is Code.org. Code.org is a free coding platform that is all block-based. It works on tablets, it works on computers. It is wonderful. We highly recommend that you check out some of their courses, definitely some of their hours of code. Today we're going to be using it to go over Course A, Lesson 6, and this one involves BB8. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. This is Code.org, and on the screen we're going to go to Learn, and then we're going to scroll down and we're going to find grades K through 5. We're going to go to K to 5 courses, Course A, and then these are great up here for if you're trying to be familiar with the mouse. This is a drag and drop exercise. And then these down here are their different levels or their different lessons. And we're going to go to 6-2. So this is Lesson 6, Programming with Ray and BB8, and we're going to go to the second puzzle. This one is a video. It is a phenomenal video, but it is going to show you how to use Code.org and give you a little bit of tips and tricks. I definitely recommend watching that, but for our sake, we're going to skip that for right now. We are going to go into 6-2. And on the screen, we've got our directions up here with a speaker button. And then we've got our gameplay area. This is where our code will run. This is where BB8 will run the code. So we will see what BB8 does. And then this is our toolbox. These are the blocks that we're going to be using. And then this big white space is the workspace. So this is where we will drag our coding blocks into. This is BB8, and this is the scrap metal that BB8 needs to pick up. We don't have a special command for BB8 to pick up the scrap metal. BB8 will just need to roll over it, and then we'll pick it up that way. So it says, go get the scrap metal, BB8. Watch out for walls and crates. Scrap metal looks like this. So it looks just like that. So it looks like some of these challenges can be kind of overwhelming. So what I like to do is I like to decompose them, or I like to break them down into smaller problems. And if I think, okay, I need to go east to get to my scrap metal, I just want to focus on this space right here. This is the only space that I want to focus on. So if I drag this block out, and I do have my site muted right now, but if I didn't, you would hear a little click that would go in, just like that. If it looks like this, where it's kind of grayed out, and there's a space between the when run and the block, this code won't actually work when I hit run, because nothing's connected to it. So I can hit reset, which will restart BB8, and you can hit run and reset as many times as you would like. There's no penalty or there's no harm in doing so. So if I go ahead and I click this over, perfect. I got closer to the scrap metal, but not quite there yet. So I need to go through and add another one. These are my small problems. Perfect. And then I'll go over, and I was able to grab the scrap metal just like this. Now, when this screen comes up, I'm actually going to hit keep playing for this one because I want to go over this pink block that's hanging out over here. But when this comes up on the screen, feel free to pause the video and follow along with us, or you can try it out on your own before watching the video. So when you see the screen, this is a good indicator that it would be a good time to pause the video. But I'm going to hit, normally I'll hit continue, but I'm going to hit keep playing for a moment because I notice that I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again. I'm really grateful that this was only 3 blocks or 3 spaces away. But what if it wasn't? What if it was like 100? I would have to count out 100 of these blocks. Whew, that's a lot. I might lose track on how many I've added so far. It's a little bit harder for me to find bugs or mistakes in code, which, by the way, mistakes are okay. That is totally how we learn. But the computer can actually do this for me. And I could use less blocks because Code.org actually says this puzzle can be completed in 4 blocks. But I think I could do it in less. And this repeat loop is going to help me do that. So right now, we're going over, over, and over. We're doing the same thing. So we're going east 3 times. So if I put an east block inside of this pink block, the computer will go and do whatever is inside this mouth. And we can stretch different ones out, but this would be over, down, over, down, over, down. The computer will do whatever we tell it to, how many times. So it will go over once and it'll go, oh, did I go over 3 times? No, okay. Go over one more, was that 3? Nope. Go over one more, was that 3? Yes, and then it will stop and it will either go onto the code beneath it, or it will just stop if that's where the code ends. So these two lines of code, these are the exact same. This one's just taking up a little bit more space in my workspace, and I have to make sure that I count correctly, and it's harder for me to find mistakes in my code. Whereas this one is the exact same code, but it's telling the computer to move over 3 spaces to the east. And now you'll notice that this workspace says I've used 3 out of the possible 4 blocks. So code.org says that this puzzle can be done in 4 blocks, but I actually did it in 3 because I used the repeat loop. If I had used more than 4 blocks, let's say I decided to go down first, and then, so down first would be here, 1, 2, 3. Let's say I decided to do it this way, and then go up. You'll notice that I have used 6 blocks out of the possible 4. That's not a problem. It just means that we've used more blocks than what code.org says is the fastest or the shortest way to get there. And you'll notice that this dark green circle, this is the way that I know that I've used it in the fastest way. If I had done it in this way, let's hit continue. Oh, no, let's not hit continue. I wanted to go back. I just clicked on number 2 to go back. If I had done it this way without this code being on here, this dark green circle would have been a light green circle. And I think it's a dark green circle because I've actually already completed this. So we will go ahead and go on to this one. I am going to take an inconvenient way on this one, not necessarily a wrong way, there's just a faster way to do it. So I am going to go all the way down, 1, 2, so let's go 2 down. I just want to show what happens if there's a light green circle. Again, not bad. And there's tons of different ways you can solve this problem. So just because I've solved this problem one way doesn't mean it's the only way or the more correct way. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm purposely not using a repeat loop here because I want to go over this 6 blocks. And then let's go 1, 2, and then we'll go to the west. So while I will complete this puzzle this way, it is not the fastest way to do it. So if I do that, you'll notice that there's a light green circle here. There's a dark green circle around it because I'm actually on this puzzle right now, but there is a faster way to do this. Not that this one's necessarily wrong, we did complete the puzzle, but there is a faster way to do this. So I'm going to hit reset and delete this just by dragging it back into the toolbar. And I know that there's 2 scrap metals, but I only want to worry about this one. This is my first small problem. So I'm going to go ahead and move over 2 to the east and just make sure that I can get this one. I'm not worried about this one right now. I will come back and get it, but I want to get this one first. Excellent. I could either continue to go east and then down, or I could go down and then east. For this sake, I'm going to go down. Oops. And then I'm going to go over to the east again. So we'll reset it. Got the first one, and I've gotten the second one. Again, this is a great sign if you see this one. If you would like to pause the video so that you can try the next puzzle on your own, you are more than welcome to do that. This one, I kind of see a pattern here. I see that this is forming a square, so I would have to go over, over, and then turn east, down, down, and turn west, over, over. So I'm going to go ahead and go down first. I'm just worried about this one right here. So I'm going to go down. Got it. Perfect. Now I'm going to go east. I could use a repeat loop here because I am repeating things. But since I have 2 blocks here, and this would be the same. So I have 2 blocks here, one's pink and one's blue. This would be the same as doing this. So it's not really saving me much time in here. So that's why I'm not using the repeat loop on this one. And then so I should be able to get that second one. And now my last one. Excellent. And then run. We should be able to get all of them. Then we'll continue. This one, I do see a pattern in this one. This one I could go over, down, over, down, over, down. That's something that's repeating over and over and over again. The same pattern, over, down, over, down, over, down. If I were to continue this pattern, I'd go over and down. So I'm going to use the repeat loop for this one to save myself a little bit of time and a little bit of space in this workspace. So I'm going to go over, down. Those were the 2 blocks that I needed to repeat. Over, down. So I should go over, down, and it's going to do this 3 times because that's the number I have in this little bubble. It'll go over, down, and that's 1, over, down, that's 2, over, down, and 3. It's not going to go over, 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 down, down, down. It's going to do it in this order, and it will do this order 3 times. So over, down, over, down, over, down. I'm going to hit run, over, down, over, down, over, down. This would have been the same as, I actually did it in 4. Code.org said I could do it in 7, so I did it faster. Over, down, over, down, over, down. This is actually the exact same code. Over, down 1, over, down 2, over, down 3, over, down. It's the exact same code, I just did it in a repeat loop. With number 6, it says, can you get it all? So I'm going to go down, let's go down 1, and then let's go over 3 times. And the reason I'm going over 3 times is because when I go down here, I'll go down 1, 2, 3. So that's why I have it going over 3 times to the east. And you'll notice that my code actually has a couple of blocks in it. I have this block up here. That's because I don't want it in the repeat loop. I only want it to do it 1 time, and then I want it to move on to the repeat loop. So let's try that one out first. Perfect. And then I could go down 2 spaces. And the reason I like to check my code as I go is because what if there were like 300 of these, and I needed to check every single line of code? I would rather check a code line by line and find an error or a bug early on than have to get all the way down to the bottom and then, oh no, it doesn't work. If that happens, that's okay. But I find it a little bit easier for me to check my code as I'm going along, so that way it's easier for me to find different errors and correct those errors or those bugs. Perfect. This is puzzle 7. And I do see a pattern here. Over, over, down, down. Over, over, down, down. Code.org says I can do this in 9, but I hear a pattern. I hear something that's repeating over and over and over again. Over, over, down, down. So what if I tried this? Over, oops, that's not the right one. Over, over, down, down. And I don't necessarily want it to go 3 times. I only want it to go 2, because I could do over, over in a repeat loop, and I could do down, down in a repeat loop. But I see that this kind of looks like a number 7 here, and then I see another number 7 here. So it should go over, over, down, down, over, over, down, down, and then it's going to start this section of code over again. Over, over, down, down. So I actually did it faster than code.org. Had I not used the repeat loop, I would have done it this way. So over, over, down, down, over, over, down, down. It's the exact same code, but since I saw that this part of the code was repeating, over, over, down, down, I saw my number 7. I decided to throw it all in a repeat loop, but this would be the exact same code. Over, over, down, down, over, over, down, down. Wonderful. And this yellow block of code tells me which line of code that code.org is running at this specific moment. So if you saw that, it went from east, east, south, south, and then it went back up to east because it's repeating 2 times. So it's going to show me which exact block of code code.org is running at that specific moment in time. We're going to hit continue. And this one, I don't know that I see a full pattern yet, and maybe it'll come to me later. So I'm just going to worry about getting these 2. I'll worry about these 3 later, but I want to worry about these 2 first. Go over, let's see if we can get just those 2. Wonderful. Let's go and get this one. 1, 2. So we're going to get 1, 2. And the reason BB8 will restart is because if BB8 ran this code from right where they are, they would go over, over, down, down. So BB8 is going to start over exactly as they started. Perfect. So that way the code will start over at the top. over, over, down, down. Awesome, we've gotten 2 out of the 5 pieces. I can either go down and then over, or I could go over some more and then down. I think I am gonna go over some more and then down. So now I do see a pattern. I see over, over, down, down, over, over, down, down. Sometimes doing the puzzle without the repeat loop helps me decide whether there's a pattern or not. So over, over, down, down, over, over, down, down. That's repeating. So now that I see that pattern, I could do it this way if I wanted to, and this would solve the puzzle just fine. But now that I've seen the pattern, I'm going to put all that in a repeat loop. So over, over, down, down. And you'll notice there's 2 over, down, down, so over, over, down, down. There's 1, over, over, down, down, there's 2. So I only need it to repeat 2 times. And this should actually solve our puzzle. Beautiful. We're gonna press continue. Ooh, a challenge puzzle. Challenge puzzles are lessons designed to stretch your brain. Just do the best you can. Skip for now or I'm ready. I think I'm ready to solve this challenge and I want to give it a go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm ready. Wow, this looks kind of scary. It looks like a big challenge, but we can break this down. We can break this down either going this way, maybe going all of this way. We can get these little sidebars so we can go over and down and then up, kind of like that. There's a lot of different ways that we can do this problem. Code.org is challenging us to do it in 19 blocks. So I'm going to try to do it in 19. I'm going to try to go over and over first so that I can get these 2. And then I think what I want to do is I'm going to try to get all of these. I will worry about these that are kind of sticking out like a backwards E. I'm going to worry about those later. I want to worry about just these. And remember, just because I've done it one way doesn't mean it's the only correct way to do it. There's lots of different ways we could do this. So maybe you wanted to focus going down this way first. Or maybe you want to get this one, get these, and then go over and then come back. That's totally up to you. I'm going to try and do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to have it go down 6 times. So I'm going to hit reset. I should be able to get these 2, and then all of these that are nice and aligned. So I'm going to look for these. Perfect. Excellent. So now I'm going to have it BB8 move over, and I'm going to have BB8 move up. So 1. So we'll be here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that. Let's have BB8 move forward up. So hopefully I should be able to get all of these over here on the right, and then these in the middle row. Excellent. Oh, not quite. I need to go 1 more. So I had a bug in my code. Now I should be able to get all 4 of those, or all 3 of those scrap metals. Excellent. And then I'll have BB8 go to the west, and then we'll have BB8 go down. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll have them go down 4. So this way I was able to do it in 11 blocks, so I was able to do it under 19 blocks. If you take 19, that's okay too. That is awesome. We care more that you completed the challenge, that you worked through those hard things, because we can do hard things. Awesome. Yay! And then it gives us a little confetti. It says challenge complete. Try again or continue. This is a great way to go ahead and pause it if you're not ready for the next one. Whoa, this one. I see a whole bunch of lines. That means I'm going to go down, 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 up, 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 up. Or I could go down to the west, down to the east, down to the west, down to the east, down to the west, down to the east. So there is a little bit of a pattern here, and I am going to use a repeat loop. So I'm going to go down. That's going to bring me here. So then I want to go to the west, and I want to go down again. That should bring me here, and then I want to go to the east. And I know that this section of code actually repeats down, west, down, east, down, west, down, east. That's 2, down, west, down, east. That is 3. So we are actually going to go ahead and put all of this in a repeat loop because there's a pattern here. We'll hit run, and BB8 will go run this code 3 different times. So I chose to follow this pattern as opposed to the one that was in a straight line. Perfect. Puzzle 11. I don't quite see a pattern here. Let's see, up, up, over, over, up, up, over, over. I did find a pattern actually. So let's see, up, up, over, over. So that's up, up, over, over. I like to try and find the pattern first. Sometimes if it's a little bit more difficult, I write it out like this before I use the repeat loop. And then this way I'll pop this into the repeat loop. We'll do it 2 times. And before it does that, I want to add the code in here if I wasn't using the loop. So if I did over, over, east, or up, up, east, east, I would need a couple more blocks. And then let's grab this. This is the exact same line of code as this because we've got up, up, over, over. Up, up, over, over, that's 1. Up, over, over, that's 2. So I put all of this in a repeat loop and it did save me a little bit of space. It's going to be easier for me to debug it because if I had another pattern over here, I have to look a little bit more closely at the pattern, whereas I know this pattern is going to repeat because I've told the computer to do so. Oh, I have an error in my code. So I'm going to go ahead and try that again. So I actually went east. I need to go west. So we're going to take this part out, which would then turn this. Let's break this apart. And then let's break these apart. Nope, don't want you to go back. And then I need some west blocks. So I had an error in my code where I moved the wrong way. I added something in my code that I shouldn't have added. And that's okay. I learned that I shouldn't go that way and that I can still solve this problem. I just have to use a different block. So I'm going to try going the correct way. There we go. Perfect. And then our last puzzle in this one. I don't see a clear pattern on this. So I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to go this way, this way, this way, and then up. I think that's going to be what I try to do first. So I'm going to just worry about this one. I'm going to break this big puzzle down into smaller problems. I'm going to go over 2 spaces to the east. And let's see if we can get just that one. Perfect. I am now here. I want to go 1, 2, 2 spaces. Okay, so let's go 2 spaces south. And then 2 spaces to the west. Wonderful. And then it looks like I'm going to keep going to the west. So I could have actually used a repeat loop here. And in fact, I will. So I'm going to, so this would be this section. Because I want to be able to be lined up with these. While I could go up here and then over, I want to continue going west. So I'm going to actually put this in here. Change this to 4. And then I should be able to go over, over, keep going, keep going. And then I should be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces northwards. And I'll change this to a 4. This code would be the same as, let me move this up just a little bit. And put this here. This blended code would be the same as me doing this. That's just the way I chose to solve this. Oh, yes, that would actually be connected, never mind. That's just the way I chose to solve this puzzle. There are lots of ways that this puzzle could be solved. And then now BB8 should start running or rolling up. Wonderful. And then we have completed our Code.org lesson 6, course A, lesson 6. This was BB8 and we want to hear from you. What was your favorite puzzle? How did you solve that puzzle? Did you solve it with repeat loops? Did you not try to solve it with repeat loops? Either way, that's okay. We would love to hear from you. So if you would like to see more videos on Code.org tutorials, go ahead and follow, and we will see you soon. Bye!